Welcome back to Planet B Terraform. I'm really loving this game. I hope you are too. Don't hesitate to check in the video description below if you want to see the full playlist. I started right from scratch teaching you the basics and now we're getting into a lot more advanced stuff. Today we want to start playing with water, but just before we dive into that, a couple of small things. The first one is that I am now recycling also all of the waste from London, from a smaller city of London. We have city waste disposal satisfactory, 100% perfect. I basically used the same idea than on the other city, but this time I just made it into one big line, which also makes it a lot easier than to duplicate. You know, if I start to have too much waste over here, I can just duplicate this whole thing there next to it, and then we'll be good. But yeah, a quick recap is, we have the aluminum jumps over here. It's going to be transformed into high-tech parts with the polymer. The polymer is coming from there. To make polymer, you need carbon. The carbon comes from here, just jumps. Then there's a train over here bringing this polymer over there. So this creates high-tech parts. They just jump over there so that we can make a lot of trains. So it's a lot of trains over here. To make the trains, we need those high-tech parts, but also a bit of mechanical parts. Those mechanical parts are made just over here, where we need to transform the steel bars into mechanical parts. So we need two trains. There's this train over here that's picking up the steel and delivering it over here. Then it's transformed into the mechanical parts. And then we have another train that's taking those mechanical parts and delivering there. So it is. Now we have recycling over there too. So the city could start growing if we were to give it high-tech parts. But while I was doing that, my other city, New Poon, has actually been growing like crazy, as you can see over here. I think at the end of the last episode, we were only around 2,000 or 3,000. Now we're almost at 10,000 population for this city. But because of that, the annual supply demand has also increased tremendously. I think we ended the last episode around 80 or 90. Now we're at more than 180 of supply demand. So of course, if you don't have trains, if you only have trucks, that's going to be hard. With trains, that's definitely feasible as long as you produce enough, right? So let's do a quick check if we seem to be producing enough. Of course, you can calculate it, but you can also see it at a glance. First of all, you can see that this is completely full. This one maybe not so much, so maybe this one is the problem. But yeah, over here we have a lot, and if we look, yeah, this seems to be producing enough. But once again, you can calculate, right? We can calculate 12 times how many that we have. Is that more than 180? Similarly for the reinforced concrete, that's coming from over here. That seems to be full. That seems to be a bit low though on concrete. Concrete's coming from over there. So at some point we may need to increase that. And then lastly, the high-tech parts are coming from over there. And this seems to be nice and full. So we should be good for a while. Now, last thing before we get into the water, with all of this, as I said, we're producing a lot of trains for free, right? So we should actually stop the train factory that we had over here because that's basically, wasting a bit our resources. So let's delete this for now. And now let's go into water. So for water, we're gonna need ice extractors. These require reinforced concrete and mechanical parts. So that's basically sulfur and iron. Okay, over here we have a lot of sulfur, a lot of iron, so that should be fine. Let's start doing this. We get the sulfur first, then we're gonna transform into concrete. Okay, that's a good start. So we have the sulfur that's going to be made into concrete. Then we're gonna need to transfer this concrete over here. So let's put a small train. To be honest, they could just jump, but I'm gonna put a small train just to make sure that it is a lot transported per minute, per annum. So it is, we're transporting the concrete. Then with this concrete, we're gonna make reinforced concrete while we have steel bars. So the steel bars are over here, we're gonna need to make them and deliver them. Then we have this reinforced concrete jumps across, right? And we'll be able to make all of those ice extractors once we add mechanical parts, that's this one. So now we just need to bring the steel bars and mechanical parts, which will be from here. Let's do that. And while I was building those ice extractors, I'm gonna show them to you in a second. We have unlocked level 12. We have reached 10,000 of population in this main city, in our main city. With that, unlocked a couple of new things. We have unlocked the organic waste, compost, food, and greenhouse. Our next objective is to increase the temperature by 30 degrees. We are not there yet. As you can see, we have a bit of a plateau because we haven't started sending the NF3 pressure. And for that, we actually need those ice extractors. So that's why we're gonna move there. But yeah, This is great. It does mean that now in my waste disposal, I have this new thing, the organic waste. So we're gonna need to do something about it. Otherwise, you know, my population is soon gonna be unhappy. And we can also see that the supply has changed. Now, on top of all of these, we need to bring food. But first, let's look at this where I'm hoping to make soon a lot of those extractors. So we have over here, you know, iron production is going to slowly but surely move this side, then jumps over here, hopefully, starts going all the way over there, can also go this side. Then this side we're producing, you know, some steel bars. Those steel bars are being distributed over here. So that has started. With that, we're making some reinforced concrete. On the other side, we're doing the same. We're making steel bars. Then those steel bars are jumping over here to make some mechanical parts. And then the mechanical parts are transported through this train all the way here. And so, yeah, we can see that we have over here some that have some reserves of reinforced concrete and mechanical parts, and therefore making some ice extractors. Yeah, we already have 4. And remember, we have also unlocked the greenhouse there. Now, as I said, the goal is to make this new gas, NF3, which will have some nitrogen and some fluoride. The nitrogen is going to be provided by those ice extractors, and we have fluoride on the map. But what it means is try to look for where you have fluoride, right? And in particular, close to the pole. So here we are close to the pole, right? And so if we switch, there's some fluoride over here. And actually, I don't see a lot more. So yeah, I think this is a good spot. It's not a lot, but it could get us started. So let's do that one. So it is, we've put the first ice extractors, right? They're going to start producing nitrogen and water. So let's start putting this into obviously some storage. Okay, so it is, we have the fluoride, right? I've put an extractor on every single one of them, so we can take everything, then it's going to those depots, trying to get everything over there where we have trains to deliver. So we've already delivered tons of fluoride, right? Now what we need on top of the fluoride is the nitrogen that's going from this side. So this is going to take a bit more time because this is only producing 5 per cycle, right? But as I'm making now more and more, let's check actually how many. Oh, we have already 17. You know, you can start making more and more. And for now, these ones can jump directly, but then I can also start making, you know, on the other side and have a train. That won't be a problem. And yes, with that, this is starting. And so if we look over here, yes, we've started to send some of this gas into the atmosphere, and therefore I think hopefully our temperature is going to start ramping up quickly. By the way, these ice extractors are the same as the atmospheric extractor in the sense that you do have 2 outputs, but it's fine if you only take care of one. If, you know, the second, in this case, for example, water is full, the nitrogen will continue to be produced. So if you want, you can have only output of nitrogen like you did over here, or you can have both like I did over there. On the other hand, remember, this is not the case for the waste, right? You need to take care of all of your waste. And in particular, now we have a new waste, the organic waste. So let's start taking care of that one. But before we do, we have unlocked a new building, which is the greenhouse. We need polymer bars and steel bars. Polymer bars is carbon, that's easy, that's the extractors, the CO2 extractors. And then steel bars, that's just the iron ore. So we just need to find a place that has some iron and some space. Maybe let's do it over here. It's 550 meters of altitude. So it's probably quite a high altitude. Probably won't be, you know, underwater soon. So let's go for it. And here it is, another cool layout in my opinion, without any transport like trucks or trains. To be honest, I know I'm not saying this is perfectly optimized. For example, you know, this is producing 12 per minute. This one requires 3 to make 30, while on this side, it requires 3 to make 32, but we're producing actually 15. So obviously I would need a lot more of these to match to this number over there. And that's why you have a lot of reserve there and very few on this side. But what I know is with that, we can make greenhouse pretty easily. So now with that, we can build those cute little greenhouses. Those greenhouses are going to give us food. Remember, food is the new product that we need to continue expanding our big city over here of Prune. If I look at this one there, yeah, food is the next one. Remember I told you a few minutes ago that we need to do something with the organic waste. Well, if we move organic waste into a recycling center, we're going to be able to make some compost. But it's not that easy. To actually make the compost, we're also gonna need to use nitrogen. So you see this is getting more and more complex and definitely linked to now my ice extractor. So it's a great thing, we're making a lot per minute. So yes, basically we're gonna need to extract a lot of ice to make water and to make nitrogen. The nitrogen will be used to transform the organic waste into compost, and then the compost will be used to make food. But I think this will be in the next episode. Today we really wanted to cover the water part. Don't hesitate if you have any questions, thoughts. We're also getting close to the next level to increase our temperature by 30 degrees. We're still quite low, right? We're still at minus 29, so I don't think people want to live there. But as you can see, my pressure for NF3 is growing very quickly, and therefore the temperature has started to increase again. So as I said, don't hesitate if you have any questions, thoughts, requests. I'd love to hear about it, to smash the like button, and I'll see you ASAP for the next episode on food.